Hello and welcome. I'm Raziel, and this is the Games Workshop versus Ghamek case. I've got to say, it's a weird one, and not just because it's Italian law. It's weird because of what's being used, the exact law being used. Okay, it's Article 2598 of the Italian Civil Code, which you can see is on the screen now. Um, what makes this particularly interesting is it's weird. It's very strange. Um, Look, full disclosure first. I'm taking a neutral side in this. I'm not taking Gamek's side. I'm not taking Games Workshop's side. In any sort of story like this, any case like this, I think it's always best to get as much information as you can. Make up your own mind. Don't fall to peer pressure because GW bad. Okay, Gamek must be the good guy because GW bad. Take a neutral side. Look up all the information. That's the way I've always taken these cases. I did it with the last one. I'll do it with any others. I might do more of these because they tend to be quite popular, and I actually quite enjoy doing these as well because of the research. And I've got to say, right, the other one, the Kissimmee case, I believe it was quite basic. I said it was quite basic. It was very bog standard. It ended up in, I believe, a dismissal or something like that. He was very lucky, and I've got to say that was interesting. But this one has like I would look first time I read his thing. There's so much redaction in there. There's some like grammatical errors and stuff like that, which seem weird. I think I could put to one side. Like I could say, like I was going to say, it was weird. But when I sort of looked deeper into case and what I could find, unfortunately, he's right. Italian privacy laws do mean that court cases tend to be private for a while. When I get the full information, and Gamek, if you're watching this, could you please provide me the rest of the document so I can read it, so I can give a clear picture of what's happening? And okay, but what's interesting is a couple of things that I've sort of shown. First, let's go through the Article 2598 of the Italian Civil Code. It's here on the screen, and here it is. Article 2, I'm just going to read it through, to be honest with you, and I've read it so many times I'd probably know it off by heart. Article 2598 of Italian Civil Code provides that, subject to the provisions that concern the protection of distinctive signs and patent rights, anyone who engages in the acts of unfair competition. These are the three paragraphs. It's all three. This is the entire law. Well, the entire article, so there's not going to be anything else. Number 1. Uses names or distinctive signs capable of producing confusion with names or distinctive signs legitimately used by the others, or slavishly imitates a competitor's product or performs any other means as acts likely to cause confusion with the products and activities of a competitor. This part here, distinctive signs. Remember Chapter House. It's basically that when they, I think it was the Imperial Fist shoulder pads or something like that. Yeah, that's basically what that is. Rest is the miniatures themselves. I've seen the miniatures. They do not look alike, but they weren't on court documents. They weren't on the summons. They weren't on that. They were just him showing them. So I don't know if they are the real ones or not. Again, for neutrality, I'm just saying that's clear. They probably are. They might most likely are, but I don't know. And so if I can see the court the summons with those on it, that would clear the air there. Right. Number 2. This is the interesting bit. Spreads, disseminates news and opinions about the products or and the activities of a competitor which may discredit them or appropriate qualities of the products or of the business of a competitor. This is interesting. This is like, say, I don't know, this is weird because this is what makes it interesting. This is the one that makes it interesting. This sounds like almost slander slash sounds like, in my opinion, I'm got to clarify that. In my opinion, so this is just an opinion. This is one reason I don't really like covering law, even though the research is absolutely fun and fantastic. This part I don't like that because I got to really make my words clear. In my opinion, spreads and disseminates news and opinion sounds like slander / libel. Alright? That's what it sounds like to me. And that's, in my opinion, this is a weird way to go. If it's just about 3D printing and IP infringement, why bring up slander as part of your case? Alright? In my opinion, if it sounds like slander or libel, why bring that up in your case? Anyway, like I said, it's interesting, and it does get more interesting than that. Well, not the law, but part of the summons. 3. Directly or indirectly uses any other means which do not comply with the principles of professional fairness and are likely able to damage another company business. For Article 2598 to be applicable, both parties have to be entrepreneurs' businesses, and a relationship of a competition must exist between them. Note, competition to be understood in a broad sense to include the activity of potential competitors and between potential competitors and competitors at different points in the supply chain with the same ultimate target customer. It is important to note the law addresses acts of unfair competition irrespective of the fact that a breach has actually occurred. It prosecutes the mere possibility that injury will occur. Yeah, I don't like that. That it might damage someone is enough for this case to come up. 1. Misuse of names and distinctive signs belonging to others, the slavish imitation of competitors' products, the performance by any other means of acts liable to create confusion with the products and or activity of competitor. 2. Spreading the news and opinions comments regarding a competitor's products and business, where such news and opinions are likely to create a discredit the appropriation of and the qualities of the products or the business of the competitor. 3. The use of a dishonest means to damage the business of another. Next 2 bits are basically about advertising, how it can be used and has been used for advertising, but it generally does not apply to that, but it can be used in Italy. Right. This is where it gets interesting. Where did I have that one? Order pursuant. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Order pursuant to Article 126 and the IP Article 2600, which is basically what the court can do. Same with 2599. 2599 is what you can ask for. 2600 is what the court can do. Right? That's very basic stuff, right? That's why I'm not covering it. The actual law side of what it means is in Article 2598. Okay? That's why it says 2600 here, not the other one, okay? Just to clear that bit up. Alright. The publication of the operative part of a forthcoming judgment at the expense of a defendant or at the expense of the plaintiffs, with the right to recover the costs from a defendant in at least 2 national newspapers, such as, sorry for my pronunciation, Corriere della Sera Repubblica and Il Sole 24 Ore. Or. I don't know. Like I said, Italian is not my language. I can speak German. I can speak English, barely. I can do sign language. I can do Hebrew, Greek, and Latin. I literally had to do a lot of looking up Italian and learning Italian just for this video. Okay. And in local newspapers such as Il Giornale di Sicilia, again, bad pronunciation, as well as the trade magazine's White Dwarf. That's interesting. That is interesting. Why bring up White Dwarf to compensate Games Workshop? Obviously through Ghamek, but why White Dwarf? Plaintiffs with the right to recover costs from a defendant in at least 2 national newspapers and in local newspapers, as well as in the trade magazines White Dwarf, Tabletop Gaming, and Il Ghiaccio, as well as the homepage of a defendant's website in double normal font size for a period of at least 15 days within 7 days notification of the order. Now, see, like I said, this is what makes this case interesting. It's interesting. Look, you have this, what seems to be a claim of Like again, in my opinion, according to Article 2598, paragraph 2, it seems that some of this is coming from slander/libel. Now, like I said, I don't have all the information. He didn't publish all the information. And yes, I understand there's Italian laws, which means he cannot. And I get that. It's actually quite common across the world that certain parts cannot be published at all. Like, I represent myself. I have a 75% win rate. Okay? No, that's not hyperbole. I have a 75% win rate on representing myself. Okay? So it's really interesting that you got this slander libel bit, but the defendant's cost can come from White Dwarf as well. Now, like I said, this is a strange case. I'm like, when I first started this, I was like, oh, it's just gonna be the usual copyright thing, usual stuff, things we see all the time. But this has really gone down a rabbit hole for me, and it's really interesting. And maintaining this neutral stance has got me asking many questions. And I need to talk about this, and I need to do a video about this, and I'll probably do it tomorrow, because it's that paragraph in Article 2598 in the Italian Civil Code, Article 2598, paragraph 2, has got me thinking this might be they're not, how can I put this? In my opinion, again, stating it, in my opinion, there's something more insidious going on here. I cannot prove it, but there's something right at the back of my head because of that one part. And White Dwarf being mentioned. There's something wrong here, and I don't know what it is. I need the information. I'm going to be digging I'm not even joking, I'm going to be digging all week on this, because just how interesting this is. One of the cases, honestly, I think this could make or break Games Workshop. I think this could be something that could very much damage Games Workshop's reputation entirely. And they don't have a good reputation, in my opinion. Take a shot every time I say, in my opinion. Actually, don't. You're going to be dead. It's interesting. I don't know. Like, I want to clear a picture of this because there's something there. There is something shady happening. And of all the copyright laws, of all of them in Italy, and there is more than just this, by the way, the Civil Code isn't really used that much. It's just something there, and I need more. Ghamek, I need more information here, dude. Like, seriously, I need more information. Just, I don't know how, I don't use Twitter. I need to get in touch with you, dude. I do. Like, if you're on Northern Exiles Discord, hit me up there, same name. Like, something's here, and I just don't know what it is, and it feels like, God, I want to say it, but the legal implication of me saying it is very hard. It's very problematic, and oh God, there's something shady happening here, and it's nothing to do with copyright. In my opinion, it's got nothing to do with copyright. It's something else. I don't know how to say it without implicating myself. And there's something, but it's that second paragraph, Article 2598. That paragraph has got it. Is bugging me. The other two are basically copying, right? But that middle two, in my opinion, sounds like slander and libel. Something there, and I don't know what it is. Right. Anyway, I'm gonna finish here because I'm doing my editing. Right. If you want to see more content like this, I would happily do more content like this because it's interesting. I like seeing stuff like this. I'll cover Nintendo, Marvel, all the companies, talk about them. I find this stuff incredibly interesting, and I'm going to dig more into this. I really am, because there's something here. But if you want to support the channel, I don't monetize my channel through YouTube because I want to maintain my free speech, so I can say what I want without people showing being advertising friendly and all that. My means of funding are basically Wayland Games, Forbidden Planet, Audible now, my merchandise, and Patreon, and all those links are down below. It's also Skyforge. That is not funding me, that's a friend of mine. I want to support his business, so it's there as well. Have a lovely day. I hope you have a good one, and I'll see you on the next one. But there is something here.